What's going on, Sacktown? And Sacktown Pete back at it again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope everybody had a great, safe fourth. Let's talk about my next sleeper pick. I don't think he will be a sleeper by the time the draft is here in a couple weeks, and that is the kid out of Baylor, Davion Mitchell, who reminds me a lot of Donovan Mitchell in the NBA, and is being mentored by Donovan Mitchell and a Chris Paul throughout this draft process. Davion went on to go and average 14 points a game, 5.5 assists, and he shot 51% from the field goal this season for the Baylor University. And also, he was the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year in college basketball. And look at these highlights. This kid can flat out ball, and he should be an option if he's available at 9 for the Sacramento Kings. Now, he's a guard. And yes, you guys are probably thinking, well, Pete, we already have guards. We already have a Fox and a Halliburton and a DeLon Wright. Yes, that is true. But all things considered, at 9, you should be open to taking the best player available, long-term fit, and a player that can play defense. And Davion Mitchell check marks all those things I just mentioned right now. He is a guard, and I see him being the long-term fit, and he can freaking play defense. The Sacramento Kings need defense. They need players that can freaking play defense. And I say long-term fit, he can grow with the organization. If the Sacramento Kings are going to play small ball with the 3-guard lineups, a Tyrese Halliburton, a De'Aaron Fox, and a Davion Mitchell can work long-term wisely, and they can play small ball together. Just look at these highlights. He reminds me so much of Donovan Mitchell. His movement, his ball handling, his dishes, and his driving. His jump shot is nice. He can shoot threes. I think this would be a perfect fit for the Sacramento Kings. I do think that his draft stock is going to rise and climb. There's a good chance he probably won't be available at 9, and I think that there's a good chance a team in the lottery might take a chance on him. And hey, I would be that team to take a chance on it because I know he's a very good basketball player. And considering the fact that the Sacramento Kings defense was terrible, as I mentioned, yes, you got to have players that can play defense. You got to draft a player that can play defense, and Davion Mitchell can play defense. In terms of 3-guard lineups, Luke Walton, I think he can definitely make the small lineup work because Harrison Barnes played a lot of small power forward this past season. And I think that with the 3-guard lineup, we saw a lot of 3-guard lineups with the Terrence Davis, with the Halliburton, with the Fox, even with the Buddy Hield and the Fox and the Halliburton. But all things should be considered, and I think that with a small guard ball lineup with the Mitchell, Fox, and Halliburton, it will be deadly. And let me explain why it will be deadly. All 3 of them offensively can get their own shot. All 3 of them are good offensive players, and all 3 of them can play defense. Can you guys imagine having this 3-guard lineup of a Fox, Halliburton, and Mitchell on the court, offensively and defensively? Our defense would be insane, and it would be pretty damn good. Anytime you can add Defensive Player of the Year in college basketball to your roster, your defense is bound to improve. And I think that the Sacramento Kings need to have a good look at Davion Mitchell if he's available at number 9. I think it would be a fantastic pickup. He can, like I said, grow with the organization. He's young, obviously, because we're drafting him. He can grow with the Halliburton, with the Fox. And overall, I like his game. I just like his game. As you guys can see in the highlights, he's got a good overall game. He can score, he can dish, he can get to the rack. He can pull up, he can shoot 3-pointers. What's there not to like about that? I think that the Sacramento Kings will be thrilled to add a player like the Davion Mitchell onto the roster. And the crazy thing about it is, guys, Chris Paul and Donovan Mitchell are mentoring this kid throughout the draft process. Those are two very good basketball players to be mentored by. As you guys know, Chris Paul they call him the point guard, and he's a very good damn basketball player who just made the NBA Finals. And I think that Donovan Mitchell is a pretty damn good basketball player as well, who led the Utah Jazz to the number 1 overall seed this past season. Yes, they lost, got limited in the playoffs by the Clippers, but that doesn't take away the fact that how good Donovan Mitchell has been in the league since he got drafted. And that too, he went in the same year as De'Aaron Fox, and he was drafted later on in the first round. So I'm telling you, man, the Sacramento Kings are going to have a lot of options at 9. It gets me excited because as it gets closer to the draft, I want to see who we're thinking about, or who we're, if we're open to trading back. And if there's a player that we are circling in on, maybe available later on. If we just trade back, maybe get some more assets in return, and then pick that player we want. Or we might just play it safe at 9 and draft whoever we want at 9. It's considering the fact that that player might be available at 9 by the time they pick. So let me know your guys' thoughts. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. This is fun, man. This is definitely fun. There's a lot of good prospects coming out of this draft. You know, doing more research and just thinking about the actual draft now. This is looking like I agree with the experts. This is going to be a very deep draft class, and the Sacramento Kings should definitely consider all things. Who knows? Maybe we might be. Excuse me, man. Maybe we might be not talking about a player that's who they're thinking about that we haven't even talked about yet, but that no one's talking about actually. They might pick at 9. Maybe that person's draft stock might rise, and as it gets closer to the draft, they might pick him. But Davion Mitchell, the point is of this video, he's a very good basketball player, and Sacramento Kings should definitely be open to his talents and picking him. So with that being said, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. You guys take care. Have a great Monday. God bless. Keep pushing forward, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace.